Hey guys, hope you're doing well. We are Vacay Mode Travels. That is Sarah. I am Alden. Today we're going to go over the 5 mistakes couples make when planning a destination wedding. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, we are so excited to talk to you guys. We know planning a destination wedding can be very stressful, and we hear it from couples all the time. The biggest struggle is they don't know where to start. So today we wanted to start with talking about some of the common mistakes couples make when they're planning their destination wedding so you can avoid them. We're going to give you a ton of pro tips today.
Yes, starting with number 1, underestimating the travel logistics. Remember, it's not just a wedding. You have to get all your friends and family from point A to point B. They're going to have to travel to that place. What does that look like? What are the travel times to the resort? Once you get to the airport that you're landing to, is there a drive time? Is it ideally you'd like to keep it under an hour? Is it over that? There's some beautiful places in Aruba, for example, but you have to drive a long way. If you are going to Cancun International and you're considering Tulum, that's an hour plus. So things to consider, those travel logistics, getting to and from for all your family and friends.
And also, what kind of flight options are available if you live in California, for example, and you're looking to, say you're looking at Mexico, you're considering Cabo versus Cancun. The flight variations are very different for those two destinations. Yep. Sometimes you're going to have a layover. The flight times could be twice as long. These are all logistics that you want to consider when you're picking your destination for your wedding, because it does make a big difference.
Now, as your wedding planners, we're going to have shuttle in place, so when your guests arrive, there's going to be a van there waiting for them. You can opt for shared, but we don't do that. We're going to go direct, because the last thing your guests are going to want to do is be on a shared shuttle to their resort. Once they land, they want to get there and checked in as soon as they can.
Yes, and just know when we meet with our couples, we always are going to give you some options. We're going to consider all of the things that are the most important to you. So when we meet with you, we spend an hour getting to know you. What are the things that are most important to you in creating your celebration? And we're going to prioritize those when we're matching you to the ideal destination and resorts. But if you decide to DIY this process or skip using a professional, definitely something you still want to consider. Next thing is going to be skipping the on-site visit. Now, you hear us talk about this a lot. There is always the option to go and pre-site your wedding resort and venue. And we are a huge advocate of doing this because it allows you to see the venues, see the resort, taste the food, and really feel confident in your decision. Photos do not always look the same in person, and we always do our best to help couples understand exactly what the resort does look and feel like, even if they are not able to do the pre-site visit. But if you are able to do a pre-site visit, it's going to give you so much clarity and confidence going into planning your destination wedding. It really is worth the expense, and a lot of resorts do offer a discounted price or package to be able to go and test the resort ahead of time for 2 or 3 nights. So that's always an option. Again, always something that we discuss with our couples.
Yeah, like Sarah said, photos can be deceiving. If you go to the resort's website, they're only putting photos that are the best of the best. They doll them up. They look really, really good. We try to give you as much information and content to what it actually looks like on a day-to-day basis. Also very important on why you want to book way ahead of time. If you're preparing for a destination wedding 18 months out, a year out, which we ideally would recommend, this will give you an opportunity that once you narrow down your resort and you want to get married in May, for example, you could go in May the year prior, and that'll give you really a good indication of what it's going to be like, not just the resort, but the weather, which leads us to our next mistake, not thinking through the weather and the seasons. A lot of our couples, they do take into consideration what is possible for all their family and friends. For example, in the summer, sounds great, but summertime in the Caribbean and Mexico, it is hot. Plus the
like very humidly hot.
It sounds great on paper because everyone is on school break and everyone has all this PTO. They just want to get outside and get somewhere, but not thinking through that once you get into June, July, and after into later summer, it is boiling hot. Plus later summer in parts of the Caribbean and Mexico, there's hurricane season. Sargassum, the seaweed that's in the ocean, can affect your destination. So these are things that really need to be thought about when looking for that perfect destination.
Yes, nobody wants to be stuck in the middle of hurricane season or when it's goshly uncomfortable. One of the questions a lot of our couples ask is about shoulder season. Because shoulder season can often mean more savings when it comes to either the budget or the resort side. And so a lot of couples are interested in shoulder season. And shoulder season can be a beautiful thing with a couple of caveats. And again, we're always going to prepare you for that. But June in Mexico can be a great middle ground. Like, it is going to be warmer, but it is shoulder season, so you might get a little bit better rates while not really getting the hurricane part of it. Maybe a little morning rain is possible. But again, those shoulder seasons are a conversation that come up a lot.
Also, if you have a hard date, like a date that you really, really want to get married on, the farther out that you can plan, again, better. But if you have some flexibility in that date, great. It's January 26th now. We're seeing dates fill up into 27.
The end of 27
The end of
already.
2027 for certain venues.
Yes, so get on it early. The fourth biggest mistake that couples make when planning their destination wedding is not navigating the legal requirements. Every country has its own requirements as far as getting legally married in destination. So one of the things we always talk about with our couples is, are you looking to do a symbolic ceremony or a civil ceremony? If you are looking to do a civil ceremony in Mexico, surprisingly, there is actually a fair amount of red tape. And again, it's totally possible. We guide couples through this all of the time, but we do like to make you aware of it, because for that reason, a lot of couples do opt to do a symbolic ceremony, which looks and feels the exact same, but that just means that they're legalizing their marriage in the States before they come down and do their destination wedding. They've already signed their marriage certificate. And again, nobody knows the difference at the wedding. But it is more expensive to do a legal ceremony. And again, there's things like blood tests, and you have to arrive so many days early. And if the results are not the way you anticipated on that blood test, there could be complications with even moving forward with the wedding. Say, for example, the bride is pregnant. Just can create a lot of unwanted stress and things that people don't usually want to deal with. So a lot of times couples will opt to do the symbolic ceremony.
Yeah, that's definitely the route to go. But again, if it is your dream to get married in destination, we definitely don't want to squash that. We'll gladly help you completing all the steps that are required.
Yes, but also why it's very important to work with a certified destination wedding specialist that understands the legal requirements in each country. A travel agent who books destination weddings is not the same thing. We're working with our couples. We understand the full boat of the wedding planning side, the travel side, and we blend those together beautifully to make it easier for you and your guests. But it is very important that you hire somebody that knows what they're doing, that you trust, and that understands your vision, because this is a big celebration. And not only are you trying to plan a wedding from afar, but you're trying to bring 50, 100 of your closest people with you, and you want to make sure that everybody has a great experience. All right, and then the last thing that couples make the biggest mistake on is trying to DIY too much. Everybody, we hear it all the time. Couples are like, well, I travel a lot. I've planned my own wedding in the States, a friend's wedding, whatever the case is. Really rely on experts, local experts that know the area, know the expertise, know the resorts, because we are your boots on the ground, we are your eyes in the sky, and we are the ones that have relationships with all of these vendors and these resorts. And again, we want to make sure that you have a smooth and seamless experience. And we hear it all the time from brides that they try to start this process on their own, but they're so overwhelmed, they don't know where to start. I also see it in the Facebook groups all the time. My destination wedding was way more expensive than I thought, and it always comes down to they didn't hire an expert that knew how to set proper expectations and guidelines with them and guide them through that process. There's a lot of things that you need to know when planning a destination wedding. Outside vendor costs, what are any of those hidden fees? We know all of those things, and we're going to help prepare you for those and make sure that you're aware, so when you show up, what you're paying for your destination wedding is exactly what you expected, and there's not any financial surprises.
Yeah, like Sarah said, there are a lot of steps to it. The logistics part of it, contracts to review, what events are going on. If you're looking to do off-site events, maybe together as a group, how is that getting coordinated? How are guests getting to and from those events? Timelines, setting up and tearing down. If we're not on site, who is doing that for you? So there's just a lot of pieces there that you may not think about initially, that someone like us could help you with.
We always tell our couples our goal is to make sure that you are educated, prepared, and excited for your special day. This should be a fun process. And when you hire the right destination wedding specialist to help you, it is a fun process and you are informed and you get to focus on the things that truly matter to you. And you don't have to sit there and exchange hundreds of emails with the wedding department because we do it for you. So if you guys are looking to plan a destination wedding, go ahead, schedule a complimentary consultation with us. We'd love to get to know you better, what you're looking for, match you to the perfect destination, resort, venue, and guide you through step-by-step the entire process.
If you're looking for some more information, we have a lot of information on govacamotravels.com. Otherwise, like Sarah said, set up a consult. We would love to introduce ourselves and speak to you soon. Hope you have a great rest of the week.
Safe travels.